talking, Marianne, at the break. This is the 7th in a series.
Yes, it is.
It's a Faye Longchamp mystery.
Yes, it's about archaeologist Faye Longchamp, and she keeps getting into trouble.
You have a degree in physics, and you have a degree in physics?
Yes.
But your heart is in writing and, well, the past somewhat.
Oh, that's why I love to write about an archaeologist, because I can take any point in history and spin a story and then bring you back to the present and deal with what Faye's digging up.
And it's a mystery.
And archaeology is great for mysteries because it's like a treasure hunt. You know?
Oh, yes.
You might dig up a body.
You never know what you're going to find.
And she does.
This is the 7th in the series.
Yes.
Any plans for you? Leave them open. You leave them open.
I write them so that you can read them independently, so you don't have to start at book 1. And I'm aging her in real time. So in the first book, she was 34. In the intervening books, she has gotten her college degree and her PhD, and met a couple men that weren't right for her, married the right man, had a couple children. It's really interesting to me to have one storyline of her whole life, and then the little storylines of her books.
So this is like a soap opera on paper.
Well, maybe, yeah. A generational saga, how does that sound?
But these are always fun, so give us just a quick snapshot of Plunder.
Plunder, I felt like it was my book to write. I was going to set Plunder in Key West and have pirates, and which is why it's called Plunder. And as I was writing it, the oil spill in the Gulf happened. And I was watching the spill going, I have to know what's going to happen. I can't write the book without addressing whether the oil washes up on Key West. And as I watched it, I was really engrossed because I worked offshore when I was an engineering student. And I drove through the area that was affected by the spill once a week to get to my job. And I felt very personally impacted, and I knew a lot about the situation because I had worked out there. And at some point in the process, I said, this is not the Key West book, I'll do that later. This is set in South Louisiana, in the area that was definitely terribly impacted by the spill. It's set during the time between the explosion and when the oil came ashore, so you've got this suspense of what's going to happen. And there were pirates there too. So I had a really good time with my pirates and with my...
Modern day pirates.
Oh, both. Because I write about an archaeology, so she's digging stuff up from the 15, 16, 1700s. And I have a new character, he's 16 years old, and she tells her grandmother stories about all the pirates who have ever lived there. And there are present-day pirates still.
I sense that 16-year-old is going to be a spin-off on another series.
She's definitely staying in this series. Publishers Weekly called her out as a highlight of the book. And they did really like the book, so I'm excited about it.
So how many more will be in this series, do you think?
As long as I have ideas, and I have a lot of them. She's a very rich character with a lot of stories to tell, and I'm just having a good time with her. And I do write other things, but this is a central part of my career.
Now, you were telling us that this is fresh off the press, and I mean fresh.
I was afraid I would not have books today to show you. I got on the plane from Florida the day after the books arrived, and I'm doing my first appearance tomorrow night at the Poison Pen in Scottsdale at 5 o'clock. So we're just rolling it out right now. And
so the people
it never gets old.
People who purchase it, they're going to be the first ones to have this in their hands.
Absolutely, and I'll sign it for them.
We had Sylvia Nobel on a couple days ago. She's author of a series of mysteries, the Kendall Odell series. And we asked her this question, and we asked her about her ideas. And she stated many times it's an article in a newspaper, it's a headline, it's that first paragraph, and then she goes, what if?
Oh, yes.
And she spins from that.
I teach writing, and so it's workshops, and I actually have a book on how to write novels coming out next month. And I always tell people, when we talk about plotting, to ask yourself questions. And so when this first series came up, I had this image of a dilapidated plantation house come up in my head, and so I said, well, who would live there? And what would her problem be? And it all fell from there. And then you're terrified that you'll never have another idea that'll support a book. You spend 300 manuscript pages going, well, this is great, but I'll never have a career because I'll never have an idea again. And they always come as you're writing. I tell people to just trust the process. You put it in there.
And the characters start talking and telling you what they want to do.
That's how I know when it's time to start. The next one is when I start.
Well, thanks for launching it right here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
The name of the book is Plunders.
Yes, thank you so much.
When we come back.